Today we're back in Del Sol Valley. We're building a small apartment that's inside of the Vacuous Green apartment complex that I've created with the For Rent expansion pack. And it has 12 units in total. This is the 5th apartment that we're building right now. I've already begun using my favorite build hack for large apartment complexes, which is to create a sample room, and then that sample room is something that I can use throughout the build, so it saves a ton of time and it just makes things so much easier, and it makes the build look so much more cohesive because it is like apartment complex that was all built at the same time with the same furnishings. The sample rooms that I've created for this build are a kitchen and a bathroom. I keep those sample rooms in the basement and then I copy and paste them into each apartment as I build. And I might tweak them here and there to change the layout to make it fit the individual apartment's size better. However, all of the furnishings are the same throughout. I think this might be the smallest apartment in this apartment complex, and it was so difficult to get the configuration right for this one. I felt like I was playing Tetris, and I honestly spent at least 30 minutes just getting that kitchen and bathroom situated, and it was a lot. With the routing issues, Sims, they are very picky with how they want to go around items, especially in The Sims 4, where like you can't even walk over a sheet of paper. So it did take a lot of thought, and I initially wanted to go with a different layout and it just wasn't working, so I cut a lot of that out. So this is the sped up and streamlined version. Since creating the layout of this apartment was so complex for me, I wanted to keep the furnishings more simple and really minimalist, and that just kind of gave me the idea of like, this apartment is really just enough space to survive. It's just enough space to have what you need and nothing extra, and there's nothing really fancy about it. And so I decided that I want to keep this apartment very bare bones. Someone who just wants to live a simple lifestyle, who's already got a ton of other moving parts in their life. They don't need extra stuff to clutter up their mind. And so that's why I have like nothing too extravagant here, and it's just you see what you need and that's all you've got. That made this apartment a really great starter apartment for any single male sim. When I started to work on the bedroom section, I started getting a ton of bugs, and I don't know what was happening. It was like telling me that I wasn't able to build a wall inside the apartment, and it was just like one of those new for rent bugs. So lovely. But I just kind of like exited out a couple times, and then it started to work again. But it was pretty frustrating. But at the same time, it's The Sims. When I experience bugs like that, I just, I keep it moving. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your sanity. So I moved on to like the living area, and I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I get this layout to be as realistic and efficient as possible. However, I started to realize that having the layout that I have right now is not gonna work. Again, the living room space inside of the kitchen area just kind of didn't make sense to me. Like, if you're gonna be cooking in the kitchen, then having the couch right there instead of having like the kitchen island or a dining room table, the flow of the apartment was just not making any sense. So I switched it around and made it so that you enter the apartment to see the living room area instead of having this like half kitchen, half living room space. It's a lot more sectioned off now. Building this apartment complex was definitely a learning experience for me. I feel like I've become such a better builder just from trial and error, because previously I wouldn't have thought up, oh, okay, for this layout I need 3 squares for the couch and then 2 squares for the bed, and I don't know, like at least 10 squares for the kitchen. Like that's not really something that I was really thinking about when I built the shell of this apartment complex. And now I know, okay, maybe I start off with having those sample rooms, and then I'll do like a sample room even for the bedrooms next time, just so that I make sure that I have enough space. Even though this is 100% like okay to do, it was fun. I had to say, I would have built this way faster if I had known then what I know now. I'm sure you probably already guessed this, but the sim that lives here, his favorite color is blue, and he is rarely at home. His apartment really doesn't look lived in. It just looks kind of like someone threw a bunch of their belongings here, and maybe even looks like an Airbnb, honestly. Wow, it does look like an Airbnb. I actually really like that Airbnb storyline because his suitcase is sitting in that closet right next to his desk, and even his like shoes are brand new, like he's just went shopping on his little vacation. Oh my god. But no, this is not an Airbnb. It's his actual apartment. He just is constantly going on work trips, and my storyline for this sim is actually that he used to be a computer engineer, and then he quit his job. He was like, I can't deal with any more of this. Y'all are stressing me out. And he went to become a freelancer. He does programming on a freelance contractual basis and works for himself, and he's loving it, getting a lot more freedom. And also, he's going on work trips and meeting clients on site just to like build his network up and hopefully gain even more large ticket clients and huge contracts. I had another issue with the layout and trying to get this bed to fit into this really tiny nook, and then I realized, okay, maybe having the bed in this spot is just not gonna work. I'll keep the apartment as a studio apartment and then just have that be like a walk-in closet with a window, like just a very, very nice walk-in closet. And then I thought, okay, well, this sim is not gonna need that much closet space. They are a very, again, minimalist sim. So I turned that into a dual purpose room of having the closet space and the office space in one. As I was creating this apartment, I really started to visualize what the sim looks like, and I can't wait to show you guys. So let's go ahead into CAS. The sim is named Jonah, and I imagine him to be in his like late 20s, early 30s. And honestly, I feel like every sim that gets auto-populated from this like randomizer looks like they're in their late 20s to early 30s. None of them look young. They all look hardened by life. I love using the randomizer because it really just starts the creative process off strong, because you really get so many unique features that I honestly like. There's so many features that I don't ever use when I create a sim. I'm just like, that eye scares me. The eye shapes and the different like nose shapes too. I always am like, I don't know how to get like certain noses to match like other features, but when you see those like randomly generated sims, you're like, okay, I could definitely do something better than that. I highly recommend using the random generator when you're starting off in CAS, because not only does it give you these unique features that you might never use, it also gives you just like a baseline to start with. And I know that can sometimes be more difficult to use than just creating something from scratch, but I like it. And it also prevents me from creating those sims that are just like so unrealistically beautiful, or like that just have those standard features that you always kind of like expect from a traditional beauty. And it really just gets you to create more human sims. Anyway, let's talk about Jonah. So he's a perfectionist. He got that trait from having so many different high-level skills. He had a sudden realization like, oh my god, I want to be the best, and I want everything that I do to be the best that it can be. So he also is self-assured, which those two things, oh my god, having someone who's like, I'm gonna make sure I do everything perfectly and I know that I'm able to do it, wow, that's you can't stop him. He's also a bookworm and he's super adventurous. So put all those things together and he's just a really driven individual who consistently works hard, outperforms, and pushes himself past his own limits. That bookworm trait comes in handy when he needs to learn new skills. So I've made this guy like unstoppable. And he also has the knowledge, which makes it even more aligned with who he is. So he got the knowledge. I feel so silly saying that. He has the knowledge, which is something that you get from the entrepreneurship skill. Once you reach level 5, the highest level for that skill, you then attain this special trait, which helps you have additional benefits when you're doing entrepreneurial endeavors. And there's also the home turf trait that he has, because his aspiration is to travel to the world that came with For Rent. I just feel like that goes so well with the storyline of him going on business trips and traveling the world and being adventurous. Jonah has a computer science degree and he has a wide range of preferences. He is a fully developed character and ready to play, so you can download him and don't have to worry about him being just like a random pre-made sim with like no skills, no preferences, no character. He has a high level and a ton of different skills, and he's just a really well-rounded sim. So I would 100% suggest using this sim as even just a friend, because who knows when you need someone to come over and cook a meal. This sim is available to download on the gallery, and so is this build. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I'm a new Sims YouTuber and I'm just getting started. Keep watching if you'd like to see Jonah in his apartment and just going throughout his day. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.